Hey nerd family, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing the unfortunate shutdown of Google Stadia. And we will cover the free games over here on Stadia Pro for October of 2022 because yes, even though they're shutting down, they are still putting out the free games for this month. So we got a little bit to cover here today. Before I get into that, I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro and I'll see you back here in a second. Alright guys, welcome back. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and staying healthy. Today we're going to discuss a little bit about the unfortunate announcement of the Google Stadia shutdown. And a bit later in the video we will go ahead and cover the free games for October of 2022. Before we get into all that, I do want to make sure to thank all of our subscribers. If you are a new subscriber from the last video, you will see your name scrolling across the bottom. And for all of our subscribers, you will see your name scrolling across the side. Again, I want to thank all of our subscribers as you're helping us get to where we want to be. Our next milestone is 500 subscribers and we're on our way there, so thanks again. If you've not yet subscribed and you would like to do so, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe. And if you do like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, as it definitely helps us out, as it lets YouTube know who likes the videos and who to recommend them to next. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Nerd Circle. But alright guys, let's go ahead and dive in here. So Google unfortunately announced that they are going to be shutting down Google Stadia. It kind of came out of left field because they've been saying to a lot of people over on social media recently that they are not shutting down and they're putting more and more games on the platform, and then all of a sudden out of the blue, boom, they're shutting down. So to my knowledge, if you are not currently a Stadia Pro member, then unfortunately you are not able to sign up any further. I do still have my link that's down in the description. If you guys want to try my link, see if it works, you may be able to get in, but I don't think it's going to be working any further. But if you are currently a Stadia Pro member, then basically what they're doing is they're going to give you Stadia Pro for free up until January 18th of 2023 when they go ahead and shut the servers down. Now they did say that there are some games that are on the platform that may or may not work correctly, but they hope that most games will continue to work up until January 18th. So you're going to definitely want to get playing if you haven't, as you're only going to really have about 3.5 months approximately speaking left to play. Now oddly enough, although they are shutting down, they do still have the free pro games here for October of 2022. We will cover that here in just a little bit to go over what those free games are, so make sure to stay tuned for that. So Google basically said that unfortunately there just wasn't enough people that was interested in Stadia for them to keep it going, which really sucks because I know that I personally think Stadia is a great option for cloud gaming. Now it may not have been perfect, there may have been some shortcomings, but I think that if they could have gotten more people on board, I do think it was a great option, and we'll discuss a little bit of that here today. But the first thing I want to do here is I want to head over to Stadia, take a look at my library, see what games are in there, and kind of compare to if we can get these games elsewhere. Alright guys, so here we are over on the Stadia desktop here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go into my library, we're going to say see all. Now, looking at the games, anything that's Ubisoft Plus, we're going to basically just kind of pretend those aren't there. Because for those of you that don't know, Stadia does allow you to link your Ubisoft Plus account. So Ubisoft Plus is a separate subscription. You can link that and be able to play those games in here on Stadia. So although that's cool, those games really aren't in Stadia. They're not the Stadia Pro games that we're really wanting to look at here today. So anything that's Ubisoft Plus, we're just going to disregard. Any of these pro games is really what we're looking for. Now, disclaimer, I never signed up with Stadia when it was first launched. I think I waited almost probably a good year, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit less than that, before I signed up. So I don't believe I have all of the pro games from the beginning because I didn't sign up at that point. So I'm sure there's people out there that have more games than what I have, so obviously take some of what I'm saying with a grain of salt here, but just to kind of give you an idea, what I want to do is let's kind of scroll through some of the games here just to get an idea of what games we had with Stadia Pro. So for those of you that are new to Stadia, Stadia Pro is a $10 a month subscription, which every month would give you some free games. There wasn't a perfect science to say how many games they gave you, but you usually got somewhere between 3 and 8 games each month. Now, sometimes they would kind of put them out sporadically, so you would claim some games in the beginning of the month and you'd see towards the end that there was some more games in there. Don't really know exactly why they did it that way, but you would get a handful of games each month. Now, in the beginning, you were getting a bit more AAA titles, and then they kind of backed off from doing that, and you were getting a little bit more low-key titles, but they were still some pretty decent titles, as you can see here. So all in all, for $10 a month, you got free games each month. Now, not everybody liked that idea, but I think that it worked pretty well. There are some other cloud services out there still, like Amazon Luna, that does it a bit differently. You have your Xbox Game Pass that does have cloud gaming, and they do it a little bit differently as well. And you, of course, have your PlayStation Plus, and there are a few other variations like NVIDIA GeForce Now, things like that. So you still have some cloud stuff out there, but I think Stadia did it pretty well. Again, not perfect, but I like the way they did it. $10 a month wasn't a horrible price to pay, and it worked on a lot of different devices. Whether it be over here on the web or on any of your Android phones, your Android TVs. They had a few other devices that it worked with, and for the most part it worked on a good majority of devices. Now, what I'm doing here right now is, out of the game library that you guys just saw, I'm looking to see if you can get any of these games elsewhere. Now, a very good majority of these games you can find over on Steam, so I'm sure most of you know that are watching this video, Steam is a game client where you can purchase and install games with, and Steam works, of course, on your PC and a few other devices. You can, if you have a good enough PC, basically stream them to other devices, so you kind of can, in essence, get the cloud a bit, but it's not quite the same, and you are using your own PC. But regardless, we can find a good majority of these games over on Steam. But I did kind of take a look and see which games were not able to be on Steam. So if you just want to be able to play these games over on Stadia before Stadia does fully disappear, or if you want to, just kind of know what the games are, I do have a list here. So there is a free-to-play game called Crata, I believe that's how you pronounce it, or Crata. You can actually get that over on Epic Games, so if you were wanting to play that game that's currently over here on Stadia, you can play it over on Epic Games. It is a free-to-play game. The next one on my list is Kimono Heroes. I wasn't able to find that elsewhere, so if you do still currently have access to Stadia, then you may want to go ahead and try to play that game right now. The next one I have is Hello Engineer. It is from the Hello Neighbor franchise, but I wasn't able to find it anywhere else, so you may want to go ahead and play that one as well. The next one I have here is Pixel Junk Raiders. Again, I was only able to find this one over here on Stadia, so that may be the next one you want to play there as well. And the last one I have on my list here is Gunsport. Now, when you look on Steam, they do have Hyper Gunsport that says it's coming sometime in 2022, so I don't know if it's going to come before the end of this year or if it's going to get pushed back, but sometime soon, hopefully you will be able to find Hyper Gunsport, but I wasn't able to find the original Gunsport, so if you do want to play that one, then I'd say to make sure to go ahead and play it before January 18th here. But the next thing I did was I took all of these games that we just looked at here, and I added up a total. Now again, kind of take this with a grain of salt because it really just depends on, you can maybe try to find these games elsewhere and maybe find them cheaper, but I did look them up over here on Steam, and again, some of them might be on sale now, they may not be on sale when you look, so this isn't a perfect science number here, but just to kind of give you an idea, to purchase all the pro games that you saw in my collection would be somewhere in the neighborhood of around $2,550. Now that's also said with some of them being the base model of the game, not being the deluxe version, so it could be even higher than that, and there may be some of them that I priced at the deluxe version because that's all Steam had, where you may be able to find a cheaper version, but regardless, somewhere in the neighborhood of over $2,000 to get all of these games. So you definitely have to be a gamer to be able to spend that kind of money to be able to replace all of these games from your pro library over here on Stadia Pro. Now let's kind of just break that down just a little bit here. So it's always better to own than to rent with pretty much anything that you're talking about. So although it, isn't the best idea to pay $10 a month to, in essence, rent these games, because you're never going to own them when you cancel the service. So yes, there is that little bit of a gray area there. But if we're talking over $2,000 worth of games, if you kind of do the math on that, if you're to pay $10 a month for however long, basically what that would work out to be, for it to equal $2,000, over $2,000, you would have to subscribe to Stadia Pro at $10 a month for over 16 years to hit that $2,000. So just to kind of put that in perspective, is that unless you planned on subscribing for 16, 20 years, you're never going to hit that $2,000 or over $2,000, and you're going to keep getting more games each and every month. So, you know, yes, it's better to own than to rent, but I think for $10 a month and to always get a handful of decent games, and hopefully if they were to continue to get better, you would see more AAA titles. Unfortunately, we're no longer going to see this, but just to kind of put it into perspective of what the current games in my library were costing, I mean, I definitely did not pay anywhere near $2,000 in the year and a half or so that I had Stadia Pro, so I definitely feel that I got my money's worth, but it sucks that they're closing and I'm not going to be able to play these games unless I, of course, go buy them elsewhere. Now, some positive news here. With the shutdown of Stadia Pro, they did say that they're going to basically give refunds for just about everything but the subscription costs. Now, there is some caveats with this, so if you purchased any Stadia hardware, so one of which being the Stadia Controller, we will talk a little bit more about the Stadia Controller here in a moment, but if you did purchase the Stadia Controller, if you purchased it through the Google Store, then you will get a refund back on that. If you purchased it from a retailer like a Best Buy or something like that, unfortunately, you will not get a refund. So hopefully most of you purchased it from the Google Store and you will get a refund on that. If you did purchase any games through the Google Stadia Store, any games that you purchased, you will get a refund on those. So I did purchase a handful of games throughout the time that I had it, a lot of it because there was some good sales and stuff going on, so I did put some money into it, and I did get a second controller because I vaguely remember there was some kind of promotion. If I purchased a certain game, I would get almost a free controller, something like that. But long story short, I'm looking at probably getting about $150 to $180 back, give or take. Now, they're saying that those refunds are going to come sometime by hopefully that January 18th cutoff date of when they're shutting the servers down. So there's no hard science or hard numbers yet as to what date everyone's going to get their refunds back, but they are hoping that it's going to be by that January date. So definitely keep an eye on any card that you use to purchase any of the Stadia hardware or games for those refunds. Also keep an eye on your email, because they said that if you purchased it with like store credit or gift cards, then they're going to reach out and kind of give you some other ways to potentially get those refunds. So make sure you're keeping an eye on everything if you were a Stadia Pro user. So a little bit about the controller. For those of you that didn't use Stadia, or if you did use Stadia, maybe you'll agree or disagree with me here, but I really enjoyed the Stadia controller. You know, I feel, you know, it felt good in the hands. It's good weight, and everything else is not too heavy, not too light. I did like that it's a USB-C charger. Now, you can love or hate it here. Some people like controllers that you don't have to remove batteries or add batteries to. Some people dislike it because eventually the battery inside of here will go bad and you can't just put other batteries in. So I like the rechargeable controllers that don't need batteries. But on the other hand, if it had like a battery pack that I could buy or whatever to put in that didn't require AA or AAA batteries, maybe that'd be better, so that way the controller itself doesn't just go to waste after a certain time period when that battery goes out. But I digress. I like the USB-C, the button layout, everything was good. The feel of the buttons, just everything about the controller, I felt they did really good. And price-wise, they didn't price it too much. Like, it was, you know, a good price, and they ran promotions and sales on it quite frequently, so it was very easy for you to get your hands on a controller. But you didn't have to use the Stadia controller. You could use other controllers, but this gave you the best experience, pretty much zero lag for the most part. And the way it worked is off of Wi-Fi, so I don't know the ins and outs of it, but behind the scenes, basically, the way you linked up your controller was directly to your Stadia account, so it just worked very flawlessly, very little lag for the most part. If you did experience any lag, it may be due to your actual internet connection, not the actual controller lag. But I really enjoyed the controller. I thought it was good. The unfortunate part now is that they're pretty much just gonna become a collector's piece and or end up in the garbage. because they only work for Stadia. Now, there are some people that were able to plug it in from USB-C into a USB port on your PC, and you might be able to get it to work on some programs, but it's not intended to work that way, so you might be able to tinker with it. But supposedly there is Bluetooth built into these controllers that Google has said in a releasing one time that they just disabled the Bluetooth and that they might use it in a future update. So we can all hope that Google will do us all right and enable that Bluetooth so we can then carry on these controllers and use them for anything Bluetooth related. That would be amazing, but I wouldn't hold our breath on that. But come on, Google, go ahead and unlock the Bluetooth on here. But if you guys let me know your comments down below, if you've used a Stadia controller, what were your thoughts on it? What did you feel? But I really do like it. I feel it's pretty comparable to like an Xbox One controller, and I thought it worked very well. So now this is all kind of speculation right now, but Stadia may not fully be dead. So I think Google couldn't really make it work. They couldn't get the right amount of people to sign up. And at $10 a month, I thought it was priced well, but I think it was priced a little too low for them to really make any money on it. They could have pivoted, they could have done a few things, they could have made it work better. But take Amazon Luna as an example. You know, they start at a certain price, but then you have to subscribe to other packages to get more games. And I'm sure they're taking some money off the top of each of those packages, but then it inflates the price and it becomes more expensive. But it is an a la carte type thing. You can pick and choose what things you want to subscribe to. And with Stadia, it was just a flat $10 a month. You didn't have anything else to subscribe to. You could, of course, attach your Ubisoft Plus account, but that's a separate subscription, not included with Stadia here. So with that $10 a month, they probably weren't making enough money. But that doesn't mean it's officially dead, because I think behind the scenes, they're still going to be basically letting people use the back end of the Stadia software. They know that Stadia worked really well. It streamed games flawlessly. For those of you that didn't play on Stadia, one of the reasons that I really love it is that there was no installs, there was no downloading, there was pretty much zero loading screens. There were some games you had a few times that it would load, but for the most part, zero to very minimal loading screens. You choose a game, you click it, boom, you're in the game and you're playing right away. And I don't know any other cloud streaming platform or video game in general that is like that. Every other platform I've tried, you have to either install something, download something, or you're waiting for it to load, whatever it might be. Stadia was flawless at that, and I think they're going to use that technology in the background. So AT&T did a little test. I forgot what game it was. I'll have to look it up and put it into another video, or comment down below if you know, but they did a little test where they had whatever game it was streaming basically to AT&T customers, and they would just go up and click a link or whatever and they'd play the game. And it was using Stadia in the background, but they didn't really put Stadia anywhere in the front ground or foreground. No one really knew that it was Stadia unless you kind of knew this behind the scenes stuff here. But so I think they're going to be doing more of that. I think they're going to either like lease out or, kind of sell some stuff off to other companies to basically brand their own Stadia. The downside is that I'm sure it's not going to be only $10 a month. I'm sure it's going to either be more per month or be more similar to like Luna, where it's got these different subscription packages. But hopefully the technology lives on. It sucks that, Stadia is going away as we know it, and it's just another thing that Google, kind of hypes everyone up about and pulls the rug underneath you, because, well, that's just what Google does, unfortunately. They make you love something and then it's gone. And it's sad to see, but unfortunately, I think the writing's been on the wall for a little bit, but they kept telling us that it wasn't, oh, we're not shutting down, and, well, then they decided out of nowhere, to us at least, to just rip the band-aid off and tell us they're closing. So I hope that anyone that's out there that's already a Pro subscriber, hopefully the next couple months we can all play some more and you know, get some more use out of it. I'm definitely going to put up some more videos throughout the next couple months of you know, what's going on with Stadia, if anything else comes out, and if we get some more information. I'm probably going to put up some gameplay footage of any games that I play from now till January 18th. So if you guys want to check out any of the gameplay, make sure to head over to Facebook and look up at Nerd Circle Gaming, where we go ahead and release some of our gaming footage, and that's always a work in progress, so make sure you leave feedback, make sure you follow that page, let us know how we can improve those videos and make them better for you. If there's a particular game you want to see us play, whether it's Stadia or not, make sure to let us know down below so we can go ahead and play that game. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at what the free games are for Stadia Pro for October of 2022. Alright guys, so we can't do it the way we normally do it, unfortunately. So I always tell you guys, you can see the Pro games to claim on the front page here, and we usually go to store and look at them specifically game by game, but unfortunately when you go to store it says that they're closing and that the store is now closed. So unfortunately we can't do it that way, so we will have to claim all, but I believe that there is more than 3 games, so I'm going to hit claim all, which I've never done it this way before. We'll see what happens, and we may have to look up separately on a different website that has seen what all the games are, just to really see what they all are here. But for now, we're going to go ahead and hit claim all. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to see the ones that we just claimed, so we're just going to do a quick little bit of research here to see if there was more than those 3 games here. Alright, we're going to give a little love here quickly to Stadia Source, because unfortunately Stadia Source will be shutting down as soon as Stadia shuts down, but they do have some other things in mind. They will be doing some other games, so make sure to keep an eye on what Stadia Source going forward does here. But Stadia Source has revealed what the free games here are, so let's go ahead and take a look. So we did get Arcade Paradise, we saw that. We have Drawful 2. We have Slaycation Paradise. We have Tangle Tower. We have Looking for Aliens. And we have the Addams Family Mansion Mayhem. Now I'm going to do a quick little side mission here, and I'm going to take a look and see if any of these games are over on Steam and let you guys know here in just a moment. Alright guys, so the good news is all of those games are over on Steam. The downside is it's going to put you back currently about $118 if you want to purchase all those on Steam. Again, you may be able to find them cheaper elsewhere, but just using Steam, it's going to put you back a little over $100. So just a little good news, bad news. But alright guys, that's all I got here to report for the shutdown of Stadia Pro here today, as well as the free games for October of 2022. I highly doubt that there's going to be other free games for November, December, and January, because it would just be really silly of them to do that. I'm just kind of thinking they gave us the October ones because they literally released like the day before they're going to be shutting down, so they still put out the October ones. But any publishers or you know, anyone that's making these games, developers or whatnot, would be kind of silly to put their games over on Stadia when there's only so much time left. So I highly doubt there's going to be, but if there is any other free games, I'll still put out some videos saying what those games are in the coming months. And if I get any other information, of course, we'll make some future videos over here on Stadia. But let me know your thoughts down below. Were you a Stadia fan? Did you never try it? Were you thinking of trying it? And after seeing some of these videos, are you really upset to see it disappear? Let me know your thoughts down below. Of course, this isn't the end of cloud gaming. There are other options that are out there. Like I mentioned, you do have Amazon Luna. I think they definitely need some work on that, but there is that. You do have, I think, one of the other really competing ones is going to be your Xbox Game Pass with the Xbox Cloud. I think that works really well, but again, it's still a bit different than what we have here. You do also have your PlayStation Plus that I think is only getting better, so we are testing that out as well. And you do have your Nvidia GeForce Now, but it's not quite a cloud platform. It's more streaming your games, so it is a little bit different, but there is that as well. And like I said, you can stream your games also over with Steam, but again, it's using your PC, so again, a bit different. but let me know what your cloud gaming platform of choice is going to be going forward. So I do personally think it's a little bit sad of a story here because I did really like Stadia, but hopefully we get some better things to come out of this. So stay tuned for more. If you guys do want to see me play any particular games, of course let me know down below, and make sure to head over to Facebook at Nerd Circle Gaming. Give us a follow over there and let us know how we can improve those videos for you. If you're not following on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Nerd Circle, make sure to head over there and follow. You can also check us out at thenerdcircle.com. If you guys would like to help support the channel, make sure to head down to the description, check out our new links page, where you'll find a link to our Buy Me a Coffee. You can also head over to buymeacoffee.com/thenerdcircle, and there's a few different ways over there you can help support us. And make sure to check out our other free game videos for October of 2022. And if you guys like this video and hopefully I was able to give you some great information, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. It definitely helps us out as it lets YouTube know who likes the videos and who to recommend them to next. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell so you get notified of any new videos to come out. You can also follow the links on the screen to the older videos. And if you could, please share this video across any social media platform that you like. And until next time, guys, stay nerdy.